Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel, Beauty by CD, and I am your girl, CD, also known as Sin. So today I'm going to show you a video on how I install my lace frontals. Frontals have become like the biggest thing in like the hair weaving game now, where people want all their edges covered, and it's great for pretty much everyone. If you are an alopecia client, hair replacement, if you have colored hair and you don't want to use your hair, if you're natural, this works for you. So here I'm going to show you how I color it without coloring it, how I get my baby hairs, and how I install the weave to get this flawless lace. So you guys stay tuned and get ready. All right, you guys, so here I'm showing you my braiding pattern, and all I'm doing is corn rolling it back. This gives you like probably one of the most flattest installation. Everything goes back. You can make the braids as small as you want, as many as you want. Maybe not too many, but a good about 13 braids or so. And in the back, I'm going to just take it around in a circle so that I can lay my tracks going across. And with the hair that's left out on top, all you want to do is take it and like incorporate it into that circle as you go around. As you see here, all I'm doing is putting it in. And when you're done with this circle pattern, you want to make sure you find a way to tuck it in. Usually I tuck it in within there and just sew it down. So next, I'm going to show you how to color the lace frontal without coloring it. If you don't have time to color your lace frontal, all you have to do is color match with your foundation. And what I've done here is I've used NC45, and I think another foundation which I currently use, which this is the Estee Lauder, I believe it's sandalwood, and I colored the lace to kind of duplicate the look of bleach knots. And then you just check your work and see if it's light enough for you when you're parting it, because this is what's going to reveal your skin part and give you the scalp realness look in less time. Also, if you don't think it's light enough, you can use some powder just to kind of like go over your foundation that you just laid to mimic the bleach knots, and that will also give you a nice finish. Then you're going to make sure you take it and you measure it across the person's head so that it's sitting properly and you know where the ends should fit. You're going to cut off your lace and place it again just to make sure you know where it's at. Have your client hold it. This is going to be a very team oriented type of install where you get your client involved, because you need her to kind of hold it and stay in place. You want to also have clips ready to keep things in place, but you want to make sure your client helps you hold it down because things move and shift as you're working fast. All right, so my preliminary stitch will be behind the ear underneath the lace frontal, and I'm just simply placing it so that way I know where it's going to sit so I can continue working with the rest of the lace. So with this lace, you guys, you're going to see that I'm going to go in and out of the lace just to kind of give it a way to lay down. And I found that by doing this weaving type of motion where you're kind of going in, up through the lace, and then singly right back down through the lace. But when you're coming down, you want to try to grab some of that braid. You want to go up and then you want to come down. So here you'll see that I go up and then I bring it down. I grab some of that braid just a little bit. I check my work, make sure it's laying down, and then I go back up. This is kind of like telling the lace where to sit, and it's kind of like using the braid as an anchor to lay down. And by you adding a little bit of tension to it, helps the lace kind of conform to how you want it. You're going to continue this weaving mesh method throughout the front of the frontal, but your job is not over at this point. You're going to continue to keep checking your work. Make sure you have a good position where you're in front of the client and you are constantly shimmying that closure from side to side just to make sure that you have a nice position, because you don't want it to slip or you don't want to sew it and then you realize that you sewed behind the braid. So you constantly want to check your work, and you want to take your time with this. This can be time consuming because it's very technical. This will really test your dexterity. So that wrist work will come in handy. It'll definitely be put to the test, but it'll be well worth it for you and your client. She'll love it. So once you're done with that weaving motion, you guys, you want to go down and pull the next side of the frontal, which is on the other side of the ear, and go in the same way. Like go go up and then go down, but you want to find the braid this time, and just like sew on the braid. And you want to make sure that every time you're pulling and you're sewing down, that you have a little tension. So you want to go ahead and continue to find a braid. And when you find that braid, you want to have plenty of needles available. Like I must have gone through 20 needles just so I don't have to start and stop. You could use clear thread if you wanted to, or just continue with the black thread. I find the black thread is just fine, the nylon thread, because it doesn't show through. And when the wind blows, it won't look like anything. So I kind of have a weird method with this where I I watch how the lace is laying and I go in and out wherever it's going. So wherever I feel like it needs to be tacked down, I'll go back in. That's why you'll see me start one place and then the other. But you know, there's a method to my madness. So I go back to towards the edge and I make sure that's tacked down. I feel for the braid and I'm making sure that the needle goes through, just looping it through, not knotting it, just doing like a single loop. And then I go back through the front. Wherever you feel like it's not tacked down properly, you want to constantly go back in and do that weaving, you know, up and down motion when you bring the needle in and out to kind of get it to like lay down. You're not knotting it until you get to the back of the hair. You just constantly want to just continue to do this method back and forth. It can be a little repetitive, but you need this in order for the lace to lay down everywhere. It's a big piece, and that's why they call it a frontal, because it covers from ear to ear, and it's the front of what people will see. So you want to make sure that you are able to tack it down as much as possible, because this is a glueless method. You want to make sure that your stitching is very small and close together, okay? All right, you guys, so here I'm in the front and I'm just checking my work. I'm making sure that everything is tacked down, so I'm going back to the front. What I'm doing is I'm taking some of the hair in the front and I pull it forward just so I can apply that tension and then sew it down. You want to make sure that you do this so that you know that the lace is in place. And then you just go find your braid and you sew it until you get to the back. Once you get to the back of the frontal, you want to make sure you sew down whatever is back there. Like for me, some people will sew down the back of the frontal first and then go through the front. I prefer not to do that because once it's sewn down, the front may come up short or it might be too much. So you want to take your time and just, you know, go back and forth if you need to. So I've already taken the time to do the back. This video was very long. It was about an hour, so I had to really try to cut down to the essentials. Here I've used 3 different methods. I've used a razor blade first to get the baby hairs. Then I went over and I tried a scissor. But ultimately, I ended up using a razor comb, which is probably more user-friendly for your hand and to have more control on how you want it to come down. Because I think with this razor comb, you can just like shave it down close to the face without cutting the person. And the baby hairs, you guys, is what's going to create that illusion to make it look even more flawless. Here I'm just using a little bit of mousse to kind of get the baby hairs prepared. This helps lays it down while you continue with the rest of your work. You know, you're going to constantly go back in and do whatever you have to do. So once you have everything in place and your closure is down, you want to find parting. Find a part that you want to, you know, you really want to rock and go ahead and pluck that. Take your time plucking, you guys, because you could damage the lace. And once that's damaged, you're not going to get it back unless you know how to repair it. So please take your time. Next, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to flat iron my client's hair. She's rocking 18, 18, and 16, I believe. And the tool I'm using is a FHI flat iron. It made my job so easy, you guys, and all I had to do was press it at least maybe 2 times and it was straight. So at the top, you want to take your time. Part it small and use a heat-resistant comb to get your hair really pressed neatly. And it will be so awesome once you get a good look at it. Just take your time and go through. As you guys can see here, look at that baby hair. That is gorgeous. And as you see, I'm like using tension, but it's not moving. So that means my frontal is pretty laid down. Like it's not bunching, it's not puckering. It's pretty like lay down the way I want it. So you go ahead and continue pressing the top of your hair. Take your time with this because this is what people will see first. And, you know, it's going to define your look. So you take your time, lay your baby hairs down, and just continue to press that hair. Make sure you gave her the part that she wanted, and the rest will be simple. The baby hairs, again, you guys, is what's going to kind of give that illusion of frontals, all an illusion. You know, again, this takes time and patience and practice. So continue to try as much as you can. But I want to give you guys like a look of how I do mine. And I like to think that I still need some work in getting it like flawless. I've seen some really good ones out there, but you know, I wanted to show you guys how I do it, and I hope I help you guys. And with the closure, you can put it up or down. Here I have it like behind her ear a little bit, and see how when you pull it back, you don't see anything. Like, that's amazing. That's why people love frontals, and I love frontals. I wish I could do one of myself, but I can't, not right now. And the hair that she uses just, I think, is Malaysian straight. It's very pretty. It's very realistic, and I thought it was an awesome like install. Here I'm just taking another FHI tool. It's a barrel actually. Actually, it's not an FHI. It's a CHI, and I use that to kind of get the closure laid a little bit more. And I'm just combing it and making sure that everything is laid. As you guys can see, the hair is just like very silky and sleek. Her frontal is laid. If she wanted to part it in a different direction, she could. You can pull it back if you wanted to. Again, you have maximum flexibility and versatility with this look. And that's what I like about it. And it gives you just like a look that a weave probably could not give you, especially if you had like damage leave out. So, you know, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and enjoy the rest of her like profiling and styling of her hair. She's pulling it back and showing off a little bit, and she loved her install, as did I. And I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel, Beauty by CD. And I hope to see you soon for a frontal installation by Beauty by CD. See you guys soon. Bye.